latest OFSI changes. We're going to start by saying, I think by now each and every one of you should have received, good morning, should have received an e-bike from our office with my April 4th event. So I'm just going to touch base on that first. It's quite an important one. It's a realtor appreciation event, and it is of absolutely zero cost to the realtors attending. And if you know me from the past, you'll know that when I do something, I either go big or I go home. Okay, so that day is going to be a very special event, special for the realtors who are going to be attending. And I welcome all of you, regardless of whether or not we've done business in the past. I'm sure that we will do business in the future. So I really urge all of you to RSVP for that event and try to make it up. Sorry, when is it? April the 4th. Yeah, Marty should have sent an email to all of the realtors, all 12 offices. Okay, so I'm going to explain it very quickly. So you're going to get in at 9 a.m., register. After registration, there will be breakfast stations throughout the whole banquet facility, hot breakfast stations. You'll grab some breakfast, have a seat, and the day is going to begin with my ex-manager of 21 years. I think I may have mentioned it my last time that I was here, that he's moved on to a new role of Vice President of U.S. Banking. So he's going to be coming in to do a presentation on U.S. financing and referrals into the United States. Okay, I believe he's bringing a realtor and a builder. Please do not quote me on the numbers. My understanding is that if you have a client that is looking for property in the States, he has realtors that will pay up to 50% of the commission, okay, for a referral. And he has builders that will pay up to 8% commission. All right, so he's the financing part. He's bringing a realtor and a builder, so you'll want to hear this kid.
Which state is that?
Florida. Florida. Well, I mean, it's anywhere in the States, but primarily Florida. Okay, he's now in U.S. RBC Bank is in Raleigh. Raleigh is
North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina. But it's primarily Florida. Okay. He's gonna deliver quite the message on that. And again, don't quote me on those numbers. Okay, they could be different. I'm pretty sure that that's what he said to me. Second is going to be my alternate mortgage solutions partners and how we are a one-stop shop. So my office, Lino, Contento, RBC, is a one-stop shop. If it's something that RBC cannot do, obviously, any realtor that attends that day will see the amount of B banks that we have behind us, such as Equitable, Street Capital, many of these other financial institutions. Okay, when we can't get a deal done, we have the B side. So there's no reason for us, for realtors, to be referring clients anywhere else but us, considering that we can do just about everything. Okay. And then number 3 is going to be, and I'm not going to bore you with too many speakers, only 3 of them. Okay, but number 3 is quite an important one as well. He's a chief economist that comes with a heavy price tag, but my VP of operations here in this country has generously provided him for 1 hour. Okay, but he's going to be delivering a message on our own backyard and our marketplace and what the outlook is for 2018. This guy's huge, so you really want to listen to what he has to say. It'll be a pretty good indication of what to expect in the near future here in our own backyard, especially with these new things coming up. I'm sure they're always looking at what's going on in the world, and with this new Trump and what he's doing down south, and Bank of Canada increasing the rates, which I'm going to touch upon in a few moments. His message is going to be a very important one that you want to hear.
Who's this guy?
His name is Robert Hope.
And
he's a chief economist.
Where?
At the Royal Bank of Canada. Okay. Very intelligent person. Someone you know what it is. Robert Hope. On the e-bike that I sent, his name is on there. You can Google him. After the chief economist, that'll be followed by a show of 6 Las Vegas girl dancers opening up for a magician and a show, followed by lunch. So it's going to be quite the event. There's going to be lots of prizes that are going to be given out. So bring your business cards. The prizes include a lot of gift cards, Bon Jovi tickets, if anyone's interested. But there'll be quite a few prizes that will be handed out that day too. This is an event, not necessarily an event It's an event of learning, but at the same time, it's an event of Lino Contento, just showing appreciation for the realtors. That's it. Okay, again, of no cost to you guys. Very important one. I highly recommend that you get on that e-bike and RSVP. That's the other piece. Only 400 seats available, and I have invited 1,800 realtors. So you want to RSVP as soon as possible. Don't wait till the last minute. You may not get a seat. Now we move on to the OFSI changes. Well, actually, before we get to that, realtor points, I'll touch base on that again. I say it every time that I come out here, but I cannot stress enough. Try to sign up for the realtor points, because if the day comes that you do end up referring a client to RBC, to myself and RBC, you want to have those realtor points. It does have a lot of cash value. Okay, apart from the cash value on the realtor points, which unfortunately is taxable at the end of the year, but at the end of the day, who cares? It's still a little something, right? It's my way, it's RBC's way of monitoring who's sending the business. That's important because when we do have a referral of people who want to purchase or power sales, which are slipped to that nowadays, we look to our realtor points to try to get a better understanding of who's sending what. Okay, obviously, the realtor with a whole whack of points is going to see that referral before the realtor with a few points. Common sense. Realtor points. Good mind. What else? I'll change. January 1st. That's the dreadful day that everyone was thinking that the world was going to end. The world didn't end, and things are still fine, in my opinion. I have been relaying this message from 6 months ago, and some of you may have heard it. And just yesterday, coincidentally, they actually put it in writing, okay? Where we saw the January 1st changes of the stress test for everybody. And then all of a sudden, 2 increases in the interest rates. So what the hell are the bank and the government thinking of? And this is the message I've been delivering up to today, is the bank and the government are going to be very, very careful on how they increase these rates. If we think back to 2008 and the fall of the U.S. market, real estate market, to 07 and 08, Fannie Mae, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae is equivalent to, let's say, CMHC. They went bankrupt. City Financial, far bigger than RBC, they went bankrupt. All of these lenders all going bankrupt. So when they play that kind of a game, too much too fast, I'm going to lose my house, she'll lose her house, he'll lose his house, but the bank loses thousands of homes. The government loses thousands of homes. So they're going to be very careful how they do this. Already, January 1st, stress test, 2 increases in crime. Yesterday was supposed to be an additional increase in crime, and all of a sudden, boom, no increase. They stopped. They said, no, not this time. We're not going to increase. And they were convinced that they were going to increase yesterday. And then they put a little note, a little blurb saying, well, we didn't predict that the January 1st changes would have affected the market that much. So perhaps maybe we can't increase these rates again. This writing was on the wall, so whatever. Okay, they felt that the January 1st changes were not going to do it. But it did. It created too much of an impact, too much, too fast, so they're slowing down. And I said this again in the past. I didn't write this, but my personal opinion, I think by the time summer, fall hits, you'll see the rates doing the opposite, probably come down. Because Trev is now reporting that sales are what, down year over year, 35%.
No.
Prices are down about 12%. And that's Toronto. Apparently, north of Toronto, it's even greater than that. So when these statistics start rolling out, the banks and the government scratch their head and go, whoa, what's going on? You know, maybe we did too much of a job. And in order to combat that, in my opinion, they're not going to turn around and say, okay, you know what, forget a stress test, let's get rid of it. They're not going to do that. So what are they going to do? They're going to start possibly bringing these rates down again to try to combat it. Okay. However, in saying that, the new January 1st OFSI changes, I don't think has impacted a great deal. I'm still seeing a substantial amount of pre-approvals. I'm still seeing a substantial amount of purchasers. And again, this is a message that I've delivered in the past as well. the Canadian public is going to start getting creative on how they purchase their homes. Meaning, they may get mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin, someone to co-sign. And it helps them to push that extra 100,000, 200,000 to required to buy that home. The other piece that's happening, and I've said this in the past as well, is that in Canada, there's a tremendous amount of wealth. There was an article about 2 years ago, I think, the Globe and Mail, that indicated millennials will be in control of trillions of global assets. Eventually, millennials will be in control of trillions of global assets. So, again, what does that mean? So if we consider whoever here still has grandparents or parents, grandparents, they probably have a nice little pocket. Okay? That money has to go somewhere to go to their children who are our parents. Our parents, they came in the 50s, 60s, 70s, immigrants or Canadians over here, they grew their own book of wealth. So they get grandma and grandpa's wealth, accumulating it with their wealth. Now that wealth goes down to, let's say, my generation, who we're doing okay, we're working, we work, build our own equity as well, who then get all of this wealth from the generations past and pass it on to our millennial children. So what I'm saying today is bank of mom and dad come to the table with $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 for the kids as if it was nothing. Okay, so you can afford that $700,000 house because your income is only $80,000. Don't worry about it. I'll give you $300,000, the bank will give you the rest, you can get the mortgage. It's nuts. I have a client right now who will put the home equity line of credit on one of her investment properties, so she's going to be handing her daughter $300,000. Because her daughter had a rude awakening, came to me for a pre-approval, and we realized that she would only lend her about $150,000 based on her income. Unfortunately, that's what the income sustained. But mom said, don't worry about it, I'll put the money. So, and she'll buy her half a million dollar property. But all of this, again, these OFSI changes, this is what I see as a mortgage specialist, what I see on a daily basis, which is probably more accurate than what Robert Hogue has to say. No, I'm kidding. But you do really want to come out to that event April 4th because Robert Hogue's message is going to be a lot more in-depth of what I'm saying. Okay, I myself am going to be very interested to hear what the hell he has to say, especially with what's going on in the States and whatnot. I think that's going to be a very, very important message. Getting back, and I usually bounce back and forth because I forget things and then they come back to me. The realtor points, again, if we can sign up for those, and again, very important, not only for the fact that they have a cash surrender value, but also because of referrals. There are already, and I've only joined Royal LePage Community now about a year and a half. There are a handful of realtors that have already seen the benefit of clients being referred to them. Okay. Within Royal LePage Community. So people that have been sending business have been seeing business go back, and they would be true testaments. If they were here today, they would probably attest to that. Okay, so you really want to set up with those points. It works. Send business, you're going to get business back. Very simple. What else can I say? That's about it. I'm going to open it up for questions. I did say that today was going to be a short one. I appreciate everyone coming out, but it is very, again, I strongly recommend and urge April 4th, RSVP for that event, because it's a huge one, zero cost to you guys, and I would love to see everybody there. Go ahead.
I was wondering, how long is the RCC commitment? If you have a client, how long do they have to buy a property?
On a pre-approval.
On a pre-approval.
Okay, great question. So essentially, we will not do further checks on pre-approvals for 120 days. However, and something that I often talk about as well when I come here is this is a very interesting topic. This is a very interesting question, very interesting topic. Firm approval, I know that I've mentioned it many times in the past, but I will mention it again today because it's a very important one. One that I think it was yesterday, the day before, I had a client that I approved back in 2014. We're in 2018. I was closing in July. And they came to me with a whole bunch of income docs and statements. And so I says, I'm sorry. He says, why are you bringing me all this? are there some changes? You need additional funds? And they're like, no, it's just that, you pre-approved this 4 years ago. I figured you want an update of our income. They were firm approved in 2014, firm approved 2014. No changes had to be made. They needed the same amount of money that they requested back in 2014. I did not have to resubmit, pull another credit check, didn't know what their income was. If they lost their job, I wouldn't care. This is 4 years ago. It was firm approved. So I'm not talking about pre-approval, I'm talking about you actually purchased, we approve you, we verified income, down payment and all that, that's firm approved. And here they are, they don't have to do another thing, nothing. They're closing. If one of those individuals passed away and it was only one income, we would still provide the mortgage. If one of them lost their job, we would still provide the mortgage because we firm approved them 4 years ago. So pre-approval, it's good, but it's 120 days, number one. And I'm going to retract the statement that I said earlier about not doing verification. Pre-approval, very important that I understand a pre-approval. So you can imagine, realtors refer me a client and I pre-approved them and then they say, oh, well, can you give me a pre-approval certificate? I absolutely can provide pre-approval certificates, but it is not worth the ink and the paper that it's written on. So whatever that piece of paper and the ink costs has more value than the pre-approval, because the pre-approval comes, and not just with RBC, with mortgage brokers and every goddamn lender out there, doesn't matter. It comes with a huge paragraph at the bottom, and there's more stipulations in there, and you have hair on your head. So a pre-approval certificate means absolutely nothing.
So what's the differentiator? That's what's important to explain to the client.
So you have a client, and you don't know whether to look for a 700,000 purchase, or a 900,000 purchase, or a 500,000 purchase. Pre-approval is an indication as to what I believe they can afford, which is going to be pretty goddamn accurate. Okay, so pre-approval is simply so that we understand what we should be showing the client, and also that I've done a credit check, verified the employment, and I'm comfortable in saying that yes, they're going to be approved. But, and let's use a good example. Clients that I had yesterday, they're earning $200,000 salaried income annually. They sold their home, they're purchasing for $1 million, they have $750,000 down. So they need a $250,000 mortgage. Plus they have $500,000 liquid in their account. Shit, you can't get better than that. Their credit scores are over 800, no credit outstanding. That is what in my world is called a slam dunk deal. It's eyes closed, no problem, we'll approve that. When the client says to me, so it's okay for me to go in firm? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I could never advise any client, any realtor to go in firm, not based on a pre-approval. Because when you take a client like that, who's AAA business, as good as gold, there's a second piece to every mortgage, and that's the property. Okay, so the bank must not only approve the covenant, they must also approve the property. And until we do a full appraisal on that property, okay, shit hit the fan. We may not finance that property. Okay, go ahead.
Good question.
Yes.
Regarding this appraisal money, would you do it within the 5 conditional days or after?
5 days.
Remember, when we put an offer on
5 days.
financing, let's say for 5 days.
5 days.
You will do it within?
Absolutely.
And then you
5 days, yes.
And not a walkthrough, sorry, not a walkthrough, of course, yeah, not a walkthrough when it's 2 days before closing and say, oh, sorry, no.
No, again, firm approval is firm approval. If I give a firm approval, we've already done the appraisal. So we've already approved the property.
My second question, similar like last year's summertime, where people bought in March for one price and the prices were different August, July. Did you still the firm approve it? Did you still close it or not?
150%. Providing we did the appraisal within that 5 days. We will request the appraisal the day that I submit my application, which is day number 1. If the listing client is stubborn or stupid that they don't let my appraiser in the next 5 days, well, that's their fault. It's on their head. My appraiser is going to continue to call that client or that realtor. They're going to call the listing agent. If that listing agent is in the Bahamas after he did the deal and doesn't care and figures, I'll get him in when I come back. No, we have 5 days. Get my appraiser in there tomorrow. And normally what I do, appraisers will communicate with us. We have a 2-way communication, and they'll send a message saying, spoke to the listing agent, he's not available until 2 weeks from now. I'll end up calling the purchaser's agent, you guys. I'll say, hey, I have a situation. Listing agent won't let my appraiser in. Now, hopefully, you, the purchaser's agent, can contact the listing agent. Say, what the hell's going on? We won't sign the waiver. Get the appraiser in, or I'm not signing, right? So, yes, I can get that done in 5 days. If you shorten the 5 day to 3 day, that's gonna be harder. Yes.
When you do a firm approval, do you guarantee a rate, interest rates, or is that going to change? Let's say if you approve 4 years ago, something changes today.
A message that I've always wanted to bring to this office. So, we do guarantee a rate. Let's understand rates. There's a rate for 120 days. There's a rate for 6-month hold. There's a rate for 9-month hold. There's a rate for 1 year, 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. More time that we have to hold a rate, the higher the rate. RBC is one of the very few banks, if not the only bank, that will hold rates for up to 18 to 2 years. 3 years, we don't hold rates, it's basically prime. 4 years, I think it's like prime plus 1% or something. It's stupid, right? But it's for approved.
And then what if customer purchased, let's say, 4 years ago and closing today and decides not to go with RBC, they had a firm approval? Do they have to do penalties for that?
I am not a mortgage broker. I will always say this, the client is never committed to me, ever, until the day of closing. They can sign all the documents they want with me and RBC, and we would never hold a client to that mortgage. Although, you being the referring realtor, I would hope that you basically say to your client, if you move it, I'll kill you. You're close with RBC. Okay, no, I mean, if I go mortgage and I'm holding it for 4 years, it's kind of rude. You come to me for that firm approval for 4 years, and then on the 4th year, they go to a different bank, well, because they're 0.1 better, which equates to $10-15 a month. That's not nice. It's the same way as if you show a client 10 houses, and then Todd shows 1 house and they buy with Todd. It's gonna piss you off. Yes.
Question on the rate. You seen yesterday, you were expecting to raise the rate, the rates will be stopped. Is it canceled, postponed, or is it coming in? Because everybody's expecting increasing the rates.
Yeah, and that's what the news has been since the beginning of the year. Oh, we're gonna increase. But no, 2 things. Because they saw a huge slowdown in our marketplace, number 1, and number 2, because of our good friend down in the United States, Mr. Trumpet, okay, they made a decision not to increase this time. Now, I think the next time that they meet is July, which means that they could potentially increase the rates then. And again, I go back to my initial comment, I personally think they're gonna go the other way. Where they're gonna say, no, I think we need to decrease this. Because if the spring market takes an additional dip, which I'm expecting it to, it was extremely hot last year, right? So we're down 35% thus far. I would imagine we're gonna be down 50% by the time spring rolls, right? Me, this is all prediction, my personal prediction. But I do want to get back to the rate. I said that I really want to deliver a message. I was excited about that. Let's talk about commissions, real estate commissions. So I mentioned before that I've sent some clients to some of the realtors of Royal Page community. When I refer that client, and this is very important, guys, when I refer that client to one of you, my message is not, oh, we'll go with this realtor because they're going to sell your house for 0.5% commission. Never. I do not mix my referral with your commissions. I will convince the client that A, you're the top realtor to be able to sell their house in the fastest amount of time for the most amount of money. Of course, 101%, it never fails. The client says, how much commission are they going to charge? Absolutely. They always ask. And my answer to that is, well, I'm not sure. However, I can tell you that because RBC is referring it to them, I can assure you that they're going to give you some kind of a break. Now, I have placed the client in front of you. It is up to you guys whether you want to sell that house for 0.5% commission or if you could sell it for 5% commission. That is your conversation that you're going to have with the client. If you can sell them 100% commission, if you can sell them on 5% commission, great. If you have to do it at 0.5% commission and you want to, well, hey, that's the breaks. Unfortunately, clients are knowledgeable and I mean, obviously they're going to try to cut, right? So in saying that, I would expect the same in turn when you refer a client for mortgage. The question is going to be, well, how much interest is he going to charge? I don't know. I know that he's going to approve you at the fastest amount of time with the least amount of issues and firm approval. You'll never have to worry. The client's going to insist on the rate. So why don't you just speak to him? Because I'm referring to RBC and Lino, I'm sure he's going to give you a break on the rate. Now, if I have to cut that interest rate to keep the client, I will. But just like you guys, the more I cut, might as well be working for nothing. Because I am strictly commission as well, just like you guys. So, rate cuts equate to 0 commission. However, in saying that, one second, sorry. However, in saying that, we are already very competitive to everybody else. We're there. We're not priced high. Actually, funny because the big five, they take their turns. RBC right now is ahead of the game. We're offering the best rate. But in a couple of months, it might be CIBC. And a couple of months after that, it could be TD. They'll take turns.
What type of difference are we looking at when you say there's a difference?
Great question, and I was going to get to that. So we're only talking a 0.1, 0.2 maximum. 0.2 maximum. And 0.2 on a mortgage of $500,000 may equate to about, I'd like to think about maybe $20 a month. In a year, in 5 years, $1,000. 5 years, $1,000. That's the difference, right?
So instead of 3.24, 3.26, this is what you're saying.
Instead of 3.24, 3.04. 0.2. Sorry? 0.2. Yeah. Not 0.02, 0.2. 20 basis points. Mind you, most times it's only 10 basis points. 9 out of 10 times it's a 10-point difference. You'll get the odd stupid B lender that'll be 0.20 better. But you can't compare a B lender to an A lender. We're a completely different ballgame, right? The other thing that you can stress to your client, if there is a difference, and trust me when I say this, I've had many clients, as they're signing with me, one just the other day, as they're signing to me, they'll look at me and say, you know, TD Bank was 0.1 or 0.2 better than you, but because you answered my call while you were in the Bahamas, and you did my application while you were in the Bahamas, I decided your service is impeccable, so I'm staying with you. Service means a lot. And for 20 basis points, 5 years, $1,000, most people won't be. $1,000 in 5 years. Are you going to get $1,000 worth at RBC? Yes, I can assure you that. Your question, sorry.
Pre-approvals.
Yes.
Those people who got pre-approved under the old criteria, they should be expiring now.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, you should.
So by end of March, they should all be out of the way. Right?
Yeah.
And then we would know the real impact of the speed.
Yes, but I don't think there was a whole slew of people that were pre-approved.
No?
I really don't. No. This whole lawsuit changes it. It affects, in my opinion, about 10% of the business. They're finding, listen, we're busy as hell. I'm closing. And they're finding many various ways of going that extra 100,000. That client with mom, the other client was bringing the brother in. I'm seeing 3, 4 people on one application.
The new application.
New application. Yeah.
Pre-approval is not firm approval necessarily, is it?
No. That's why I said pre-approval, not worth the paper it's written on. Now, if you have a client, I pre-approved them, they finally buy, 5-day condition, and I issue you a signed RBC commitment firm approval, that's gold. Now that, you'd be able to take to the ombudsman and say, whoa, you firm approved my client. What are you doing? And they have to honor it. Unless there's something fraudulent about the application, they have to honor
You won't give the firm commitment unless you have the appraisal in your hand.
it. It must be everything, or you're not getting a firm approval. That's why I say to you, some of the listing agents, good morning, some of the listing agents are a little lackadaisy on letting the appraiser in. And that's my cue to you to say, hey, get a hold of the listing agent, get my client in.
So you want 5 banking days.
5 banking days. If it consists of an appraisal, yes, 5 banking days. Now, we have colleagues and friends in our northern offices, Keswick, and I'm not sure if some of you are from there, okay? But some of those appraisers up there get 7-day condition on financing when it comes to the appraisal. Or get 5 days, and if the appraiser makes it, great. If they don't, we get an extension based on the fact that the appraiser hasn't been there yet. And we can provide evidence that the covenant was approved, it's just simply the appraisal. Some of the northern parts of Ontario, appraisers work from 9 to 3, Tuesday to Thursday, so they're really laid back.
In terms of the foreign buyer tax, does that impact been as severe, or is that still being felt, or what's?
I don't have a great deal of information on it, and perhaps if we open the floor to questions on my April 4th event, that's a great question to ask. Although the one thing that I can say, coincidentally, just a couple of days ago, our CEO, Dave Mackay, made a comment of how it's enough, this country has had enough of foreign buyers using our real estate marketplace as a piggy bank. So bringing a bunch of money into this country so they can park it, because they're driving pricing, right? They're driving pricing. They're affected too. Yes.
So I have the news here, CIBC is not giving mortgage to the incomes from foreign countries. So it's out of the deal. Is it affecting the other banks as well?
At this moment, no.
It's on the
I have
table.
not heard any communication of such through RBC. As a matter of fact, I have a deal right now, a substantial large one, where the client lives, works in Dubai, and we are processing it. So we still do foreign buyers, which conflicts what our CEO is saying. But yeah, we are. Not every country. There's only a list of 6 countries. Dubai happens to be one of them, for some reason.
What are the rest?
I'm not sure, but if you send me an email, I will respond. Okay, I'd have to look it up. I don't know them off the top of my head. Britain, I think, is one of them. Britain, Dubai, United Emirates. There's a few of them. Any other questions? Yes.
I just have a question about going back to what you were saying about pulling equity out of your home, out of the parents doing that, because that's something that I'm really working with clients to help them understand that we have to get, how is it, we gotta get creative. And so I'm just wondering, because I did have a client that was able to do that. He had a small mortgage on his home. What are the numbers, like if I were to go to a client and say to them, okay, your parents now, whatever their house is, everybody's parents own a detached home is 1.5 million, let's say, more or less the mortgage is paid off. How much equity can they loan? And I don't want to start encouraging them to use their home as like a bank machine, but what's like a safe amount that I can comfortably say, oh, you've paid off this much? Like, do you have any ideas just before I have that conversation?
Absolutely. So we can refinance homes
Yeah.
under mortgages up to 80%. That's a lot of money,
So 80%, like,
Of
so
the
if you
value.
have a $1 million home,
up to 800,000.
you can take out if you're, but then do you have to qualify again to be able to?
You do have to qualify for 800,000.
Right, the people that own homes, they're retired, you can't just take that.
Right. So then, well, depending on their income, depending on their financial picture, all depending, it all depends. But you can go to 80%.
Basically, so
Right.
we'll see where, and that's just ballpark, if they were paid out free and clear $1 million, or, so let's say the house is worth 1.5, but they have a $500,000 maybe mortgage, they still can get up to $800,000 on it, right? 500,000.
80% of 1.5.
Even if they have $500,000 left on their mortgage,
80% of 1.5 would be 1.2 million.
really,
Subtract the 5 that they already
that's right,
have.
so 800,
So yeah,
yeah.
7.
Sorry, I can't add and subtract.
However,
Yeah.
and we all have an obligation to clients to do the right thing. And that individual that I was referring to, I made sure that mom understood, because this is very important. Yes, we can get creative with parents and have parents follow equity to assist their children. But why is this woman putting a home line on to assist her daughter? Because the bank is clearly saying, if your daughter buys this property, and we give her a mortgage for this property, with the maintenance fees and the taxes, she will not be able to eat. She will not be able to ride the TTC. She will not be able to move.
Yeah.
Her monthly salary will not cover the expenses alone. So I think it is our responsibility to make sure that mom and dad, before we go there, because remember, mom and dad have a lot of emotions. And they may make a stupid decision based on emotion, not necessarily understanding the ramifications. So I made it very clear to this mom, but I broke it down. I asked the doctor, what do you earn on a biweekly net? What are your expenses? What expenses could we cut out? Now we were left with a net amount per month. I looked at mom and I said, Mom, this is what the mortgage is going to cost. This is the maintenance. This is the taxes. She has about $100 left over. You do understand by you lending her money, more than likely, Mom, you're probably going to have to make payments on that credit because your daughter won't pay with it. So it's very important that we have an obligation to explain this properly to parents. Because they'll do anything for the kids, not understanding that they're going to be financially responsible for it. Because their kids just can't make that payment. They don't have the income.
And then there's also like the mentality that this generation is very much like, oh, I have $300,000, I can pay it off. They don't think about the lifestyle that they want to maintain, so this is considered too. So if I had a client, let's say, and I wanted to come in, I know for a fact that their parents own a home that's worth this much, would I be able to go to an appointment with my client, the parent, and you, and sit down and talk about where everything's at, and like, you'd be able to sort that out, or do they have to do that with their own bank?
I would love for nothing more.
Okay,
Please do.
okay.
No, they should go with their own bank.
No.
You should push them to come to me. That's why I'm
I don't
here.
know, no, wait, you're RBC?
Well, right.
Yeah, I have an account there, you do a lot of that stuff.
I'll give you guys cards, by the way, you guys missed that part.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm World Bank. Yeah, bring your clients in.
Yeah, because you know what, that's what, really, truly, that's what's happening for most of the people that are under 25 years old that I've experienced, that they don't have money, they have zero savings.
And I saw there were a couple more questions on that side, and I'll get to them in a minute. Just so that you know, by office, all depending what one considers close or far, right? It's in Vaughan, it's up Weston Road and Major Mackenzie, just off Major Mackenzie. But so you understand, 11 years ago, what I did was I bought a residential townhouse, completely gutted it, and converted it into an RBC mortgage office to the extent where, when you walk in, outside there's no signage. Because RBC just won't allow it for risk reasons. Well, they're afraid that I might open the door at gunpoint, because we have stupid people in this city that think, RBC signed money, but there's not.
Yeah.
But when you walk in, it looks like a branch. So you have the TVs, the RBC televisions that are directly connected to downtown. The mats are Royal Bank, everything, it speaks very loudly, RBC branch. So although it looks like a house on the outside, it's an RBC branch on the inside. No one lives there for the sole purpose of office. And the reason why I'm pointing that out, you mentioned that you want to bring your clients, it's an environment that's very, very comfortable. If they have small children, a living room where the kids will sit down, watch television, you can offer your clients an espresso, free Wi-Fi, computer if you need it. So it's a great environment for us to sit down and have that discussion and see what's best for your client. So I strongly recommend it.
Where is it, sorry, Lino, where is it?
At Western Road and Major Mackenzie. It's worth the drive to Acton. Yes.
Mom and dad have to qualify under the new rules, that's for that.
Mhm. Everyone does. Yeah.
My problem, well, it's my comment, I guess, is when we went to the bank, mom and dad, last March, when the prices were 20% higher than what they are, and they max themselves out, now you put mom and dad in mutual, and it has, plus the cost of an equity loan is higher than the cost of a mortgage, so it's like, it's not free money.
And this is why I say we have a responsibility.
Yeah, huge.
We are in the field. We have a responsibility to do what's right and to point out these things to a client. Then, hey, you know, if I'm the client and I say, I know my house is only gonna be worth half the amount of money in a year, and yeah, I know that I'm gonna have to make the payment, and they still make the decision to help their kids, well, hey, it's on them. You've explained it, you've done your job. Yes.
You mentioned, if you royal bond to the deal, then they will, put that through to the
AMS.
What about second mortgage option? We don't look at that anymore.
Meaning second mortgages?
Yeah.
We don't do second
No,
mortgages.
I mean, for your broker, you have a broker or somebody, who can arrange second. First will be Royal Bank in position.
So again, April 4th event, very important because you'll understand about AMS a lot better, but I'm going to touch base about AMS because it's very important. Why did the Royal Bank of Canada create a B side? First and foremost, every other bank has it. So I guess RBC has to be in line with everybody else. However, the arrangements that we have with AMS, in my opinion, are fantastic.
What is AMS?
Alternate mortgage solutions. Meaning, when I cannot get it approved under the conventional aid bank of Royal Bank, alternate mortgage solution. It's an alternate solution to the mortgage. Right? But they use, for example, a lot of home trust and equitable trust. Mortgage brokers use a lot of home trust and equitable trust. What the hell's the difference? Royal Bank will not charge fees. Home trust always charges 1% fee. Equitable always charges 1% fee. That's their fee and has nothing to do with us. Mortgage brokers, equitable and home trust will charge 1% fee. Mortgage brokers will add an additional 1% fee for themselves. We don't. So home trust through RBC, 1% fee. Home trust through a mortgage broker, 2% fee. So we're a better price for your client. More importantly, home trust, equitable, and any other B lender that we send business to, and coincidentally, just yesterday, I had one of these clients in my office. I sent your client there today. It's sort of a parking lot, meaning your client has really bad credit. Home trust or our AMS rep will say, okay, Mr. Client, you know what? We feel that you should sign for 2 years with home trust. Do your 2 years with home trust, and then home trust has an obligation to the Royal Bank of Canada to give me and the Royal Bank right of first refusal when that mortgage comes up for renewal. So providing that client for the next 2 years always makes their payment on time, and over the next 24 months, works at repairing his credit, 24 months from now, I'm bringing them right back to RBC and an A bank. Unlike a broker who's going to do the deal and completely forget that the client even exists. They're going to move on. We babysit them in the sense that home trust, equitable, and any B lender working with the Royal Bank have an obligation to refer that client back to me and RBC. So we try to bring them back. We try to bring them back. And most times it works. This client that came to see me yesterday,
In
he'll
the
come back.
past, banks used to look at the second mortgage option, but not anymore, I guess, since AMS is.
EMS, we have B lenders, so why look at second mortgages?
Right.
Second mortgages are 10 to 50%.
Yeah.
Why would a client want that anyway, right? You have a question?
Do you give mortgage to international student?
No.
Okay, what if the father
Co-sign.
gives title?
If the father
But-
cosigns, if they have income,
Yeah,
yes.
not here, he's not citizen and he's not even, he doesn't have even a PR card. So, but
It
his
falls
income is
under the
from,
non-resident,
okay, with 35% now,
a handful of countries.
okay?
Send me an email, I'll give you the list of countries.
Okay, can I have one of your cards?
Yes, sorry, I didn't get you, I apologize. Yeah, that's gonna be known as a non-resident,
Yeah,
because student has no income.
they live in Iran, but he can transfer money from Dubai, but because he's.
Why doesn't he live in
working
Dubai
at
and tell me that he
import-
works in Dubai?
im- What?
Why doesn't he live in Dubai and tell me he works in Dubai? We don't do it wrong.
Oh, okay, yeah, so better
I
for
work
him.
with a lot of Persian people, and I know that Iran is not one of the countries.
Okay, but from Dubai, so it would be okay, because,
If he
yeah.
works and lives in the
I have
United
an address
Emirates,
there, and he's working in an important.
Now you got it.
company, so, okay.
I'm sure that he probably has enough money to pay the house outright.
Yeah,
Of course. You had a question, I believe. Sorry. Okay, no, anyone else?
I have a client who just purchased two pre-construction condominiums, and he said he has a pre-approval, everything's fine, so he gives him the pre-approval because that's what they're requiring. And they're refusing the pre-approval from his credit union, saying there has to be a Schedule 1 bank. Turns out the guy had a bankruptcy, which is getting off his credit score only next year. And we're having issues right now getting Schedule 1 bank to approve him.
Okay. My first question you should ask your client, did the Royal Bank lose money?
Yes,
The bankruptcy?
yes.
Don't
All
bother
five.
Don't bother anybody to do that. So I'll explain. You and I are friends. And I say to you today, so your name?
Maria.
Maria. I said, Maria, can you lend me $2,000? I promise, in 1 month I will bring it back with $20 of interest. And you trust me. Give me the 2,000. I leave. A month goes by. You call me and I say, you know what, give me another week. I say, okay, fine. A week goes by. And you start calling me again. I don't answer the phone. 25 years go by, I still didn't pay you $2,000. 25 years go by, and I see you somewhere. Maria, how you doing? How's it going? Listen, I need $2,000. Will you give it to me? What was your answer to me?
Of course not. So what happens?
Once bitten, twice shy.
Okay, so even once the bankruptcy comes up, his credit for next year is there?
Don't bring it to me. Falls off of the credit bureau, doesn't fall off our system.
What about AMS? If you refer to
Yes.
it as Schedule 1,
Yes, but they don't have Schedule 1 banks.
they don't have
Schedule
Schedule 1.
Bs. They're looking for an A bank.
But would you
Well, there are
recommend,
about 30 Schedule A banks.
My advice, get his credit bureau. See what bank he didn't screw? That's the one you want to go with. Yes.
If somebody has that credit, how long does it take to clear? He didn't declare bankruptcy, I forgot the other term.
So, you're talking about a consumer proposal.
Yes.
Consumer proposal also takes, I think, 6 years.
After the 6 years, he's okay?
It'll fall off their credit bureau. However, let's talk about back credit. So I had a young couple come to me about 3-4 years ago, no, more than that, probably 5 years ago. We sat down, we went through an application, no problem. She wanted to wait, I did it, pulled the credit bureau. It was borderline. It needed some repairs. So I called it back into my office and I said, look, you got a long closing, your income is there, your down payment is there, your credit's not. I said, this is what I want you to do. And I coached her and her boyfriend. I said, this card, pay it down to half, and continue to make the payments. This card, pay it off completely. That collection, pay it off completely, get something in writing. I basically pointed out everything that I thought she needed to do. I said, then call me in 3 to 4 months. So after the 4th month, she did everything that I told her to. Her score went, let's say, from 580 to 670, boom, we got an approval. So let's look at it and let me give your client the advice. You talk about planting seeds, I think I mentioned it to Todd earlier, that's a seed where we may not necessarily be able to sell her something today, but let's help her. If we're the ones helping her, you'll get the sale, I'll get the mortgage. Because she won't forget the fact that we helped her, right? Any other questions? I think pizza has arrived, everybody. I'm pizza here for everybody. Please enjoy it. Yes?
Is it 4th of March for roll of Italy or?
4th of April.
April, sorry. Yeah.
It's not just for roll of page people.
We can sign for more. We can sign.
You're welcome to bring guests as long as you RSVP for them and there's space. Right now, there's lots of space. 150 have RSVP'd already. And I've only set that about a week and a half ago. But as we get closer, I'm sure everyone's gonna get on the computer and RSVP. There's gonna be a lot of your colleagues from all over the place. Global Banker, Home Life Metro Park, Home Life, Goldwell, Royal Page, Remax. I deal with a lot of those.
So we got a text or email from here
You did.
about the form booking for April?
You did. And when I go downstairs, Marty said that she's gonna send another one as a reminder today or tomorrow. Okay, please look for it. It's an e-bike, a very important event. One thing you don't want to miss, it's not gonna cost you anything. So it's gonna be a really great day with some really good people, really good food. I don't know if any of you have ever been to an event at Paramount. So they do good.
It was last month, another event, RBC had. They had a summit.
Let's not get confused though. This is Royal Bank, but it's not them that's putting it on. You know, Contento's putting it on.
Ah.
Coincidentally, I work for the Royal Bank.
Is this in the course calendar?
Sorry?
Is it on the course
I believe it
calendar?
Is it on course calendar? I don't know. It's a realtor appreciation event. I'm sorry, some of you that weren't here. It's my realtor appreciation event, which I'm holding, okay? Breakfast served in the morning, followed by a US speaker, followed by our AMS, followed by Robert Holt, chief economist. Lots of really good entertainment, crazy entertainment, followed by lunch. So breakfast and lunch, lots of entertainment, really good speakers. Lots of prizes to be handed out, including a couple pairs of Bon Jovi tickets. One of my Bon Jovi.
That's good.
Yeah,
April.
April 4th.
We don't have any
No. that's
There's
what
not
I
on the calendar.
Is it- is it-
Do you want me to ask Marty to put it on the calendar?
Yes,
We
yes.
don't-
Okay.
I
we don't
didn't
receive
either.
any.
Yeah.
I will remind Marty to send another
Yeah, because
email.
we
And what is that
didn't
calendar called?
It's called the RE Academy.
RE Academy calendar.
Yeah.
I will ask Marty to do that.
Yeah.
Good, perfect. No other questions, folks? I hope to see all you all on April the 4th. Please enjoy the pizza
Thank you
before
so
you
much.
leave.